Good morning. This is Mark Bruno, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report, and it is Friday, which means we are here with Frank. But before we bring Frank on, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. If you have a topic that you'd like us to cover in a future episode, shoot us a comment and we'll definitely consider it. So good morning, Frank. I understand last week's Sharp is Next event is on your mind today.
Listen, I got to tell you, that was a great meeting, and we're very thrilled and honored to have Mike Marusic from Sharp with us this morning. So welcome, Mike, and thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, Frank, and I'm glad you enjoyed the meeting. That's always a good start to any conversation, so thank you.
Without question, the trend of manufacturers all having an annual dealer meeting, such as the one you just had, seems to be disappearing. And you're going to the city tours, 5 city tours or whatever it is, which, by the way, I think is a great way to go. I'm not saying anything negative about anybody who does it. It's a good move, good way to do it. But there's something that we feel that what you're taking advantage of is fairly unique. Can you share with our audience, what is it that motivated you to say, we got to do this?
Yeah, I think, we do the road shows, and typically we precede any dealer meeting with a road show. But, we looked at the dealer meeting and honestly, they're expensive events, and I appreciate why, some manufacturers have moved away from them. And, we looked at it and said, there's something about, you alluded to it a little bit before, there's something about the family. It's something about getting everyone together. When you do the road shows, you have regional contributions, right? So, not everybody sees everybody. And I think it's great to get the whole Sharp, let's call it ecosystem family together. So at our meeting, we ended up having about 130 dealers come, 300 attendees. And, the feedback we got from them was they love seeing each other and talking to each other. And when they hear one message as a group, they then can go back and, I'm sure they're all talking amongst themselves now about, hey, what did Sharp present? Where's the value that we can leverage out of it? And as we all know, there's all these different co-op groups, best practices group. So I think spreading that information to the largest group possible is extremely valuable. Now, we did adjust the meeting. And I think, one of the things we had feedback from our dealer council was that sometimes the meeting gets too big. And, we felt that people like myself, John, Dino, Bob, you lose that opportunity to talk to the dealers in a gigantic event. And so we tried to kind of split the middle and pretty much have the same amount of dealers we had, but we had fewer vendors and at our event, just so we can spend time with the dealers. And to me, if you're bringing the family together, you kind of want to spend time with the family. And I think that was the important part for us. It's a great investment. I think, for us, I appreciate that, some of the focus has become, hey, just let's talk to our top 25 dealers. They're the bulk of the revenue and all those things. And I can understand that. The challenge I always, think about internally is if you go to the top 25 or even 30 dealers today, 10, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, even, they weren't your top dealers. They weren't mega dealers. And so, I don't want to sit here today and try to, look at all of our dealers and pick and identify which ones do I think are going to be very successful in 5 or 10 years. We'd much rather give everyone a level playing field, talk to the entire dealer community, and allow them to prosper, right? Everyone gets the same information. And I think I look back at our history, and, I've been here now 22 years, and watching the history of Sharp, you can see, hey, we didn't always know who was going to be the dealer that emerged. And so I remember them, when they were very small dealers. I mean, one of the dealers we honored on stage the other day was AD Solutions. And I met them, Moody and Natalia, when they were just starting out. And, now they're a fast growing dealer. They do a great job. So you never know who those dealers are going to be in 5 or 10 years. So, we're kind of looking at like, look, we're going to be here in 5 or 10 years as a company. We want to make sure that we have, let's just call it a talent pool developing of dealers that will be available to us in 5 or 10 years. And that's important. When you look at the long-term business, it's important to develop that talent pool of dealers because you just don't know which ones are going to be the successful ones in the future.